According to the latest statistics, during the third quarter of the year 2023, a significant amount of wealth in the United States was concentrated in the hands of a small group of people. Specifically, the top 10% of earners in the country possessed 66.6% of the total wealth. In comparison, the bottom 50% of earners only had access to 2.6% of the total wealth. This disparity in wealth distribution highlights the significant inequality that exists in the U.S. economy. It is an issue that affects millions of people across the nation. However, income inequality also affects retirement and causes a huge gap, which leads to many not having saved enough. So watch this video to learn more about rising retirement savings inequality and consider subscribing to the channel if you're interested in the most critical economic topics in America. First, we should focus on the long-term disaster that insufficient retirement savings may bring. As the United States population ages, it becomes increasingly imperative for households to plan for their retirement years. Most financial advisors suggest that households aim for an income replacement of 75 to 80% of the average income earned between the ages of 45 and 64. Those who fall below this target are considered economically vulnerable and may face challenges in maintaining their standard of living in their retirement years. Unfortunately, a significant number of American households do not have adequate retirement savings to support themselves comfortably during their retirement. This trend, if continued, will cost states an estimated $334.3 billion in aggregate increased spending by 2040, and a staggering $1.3 trillion in combined state and federal expenditures by the same year. The implications of retirement savings shortfalls extend beyond individuals and households to impact the government's financial stability. Additionally, millions of families across the country may experience a decline in their quality of life due to inadequate retirement savings. However, things are even worse when considering income inequality. Individuals from low-income households face a higher risk of experiencing employment disruptions or bouts of unemployment, which can significantly impact their retirement savings. However, even when employed, they often do not have access to retirement accounts provided by their employers. As per a recent study, only about 23% of low-income households had access to an employer-sponsored retirement account in 2019, whereas 75% of high-income households did. Moreover, households without access to employer-sponsored retirement accounts face the most significant challenges when saving for retirement. In 2017, a report highlights that such households must take more initiative to open and contribute to their retirement accounts. Also, non-employer accounts such as individual retirement accounts, IRAs, often charge higher fees than employer-sponsored accounts, which can further reduce their retirement savings. Here's the main problem with the retirement system. The retirement savings system in the U.S. is designed to encourage people to set aside a portion of their income in tax-favored employer-sponsored accounts like 401ks or 403bs. On average, employers match 50 cents per dollar contributed by employees, making these accounts one of the best investment opportunities available to save for retirement. However, research indicates that the current system favors those who can afford to save more, providing them with generous tax benefits and employer contributions while leaving those who cannot afford to save as much at a disadvantage. This disparity may result in lower retirement savings and financial insecurity for those already struggling to make ends meet. According to Goldman Sachs Asset Management, many retirees are struggling to meet their retirement income goals. The survey polled 1,566 U.S. participants between July and August 2022. The research found that only 25% of retirees generate the amount of income they had aimed for in their retirement. Shockingly, more than half of the retirees which is 51% of the respondents, are making do with less than 50% of their pre-retirement income. This income gap isn't surprising, given that more than 40% of those who are still working say they're behind schedule on their retirement savings. Additionally, members of the Gen X generation who are sandwiched between millennials and baby boomers are most likely to say they're behind on retirement savings, with over 50% of respondents admitting to being behind on their retirement savings. This research highlights the need for people to take a more proactive approach to saving for their retirement to ensure that they have enough income to sustain their desired lifestyle after they retire. According to the Survey of Consumer Finance's (SCF) data on households aged between 51 to 64, the disparities between low-income and high-income older workers' retirement accounts were greater in 2019 than in 2007. The report by GAO's analysis indicates that in 2019, about 1 in 10 low-income households had a retirement account balance, which is lower than the 1 in 5 in 2007. On the other hand, about 9 in 10 high-income households had a balance throughout the period. Among those with a balance, the median balance was higher for high-income households over the period, while any change for the other income groups was not statistically significant. Furthermore, the 2018 Health and Retirement Study HRS data analysis by GAO shows that income, job-related factors, and race were strongly related to disparities in older worker households' retirement account balances. High-income households contributed a more significant percentage of their pay than low-income households, about 8% and 5% respectively, and received more substantial employer contributions. Households with higher income, longer job tenure, and a college education tended to have more significant balances. The study also reveals that households of all other races than white and families with children had about 28% and 20% smaller balances, respectively. This data shows that racial disparities persisted over the period. A higher share of white households had a balance than all other races. Also, white households had about double the median balance as households of all other races. Moreover, the report states that the effects of selected strategies meant to increase workplace retirement savings vary across workers of different income groups. According to illustrative scenarios using GAO's analysis of SCF and HRS data, for example, automatic enrollment can increase the participation of low-income older workers with access by up to 1/3. However, only about 23% of low-income workers had access to a workplace retirement account. Furthermore, they may refrain from participating. For example, if they have limited disposable income or expect Social Security to provide most of their retirement income. In contrast, increasing contribution limits for workplace retirement accounts almost entirely benefits high-income workers, as about 23% of high-income compared with about 3% of middle-income older workers contribute the individual limit. As of the end of 2023, 7 states in the United States, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Illinois, Maryland, Oregon, and Virginia have initiated Auto IRA programs to bridge the gap in 401k access. These programs aim to encourage more Americans to save for retirement, especially those who do not currently have access to employer-sponsored retirement plans. The first state to launch an Auto IRA program was Oregon, which did so in 2017. Under these programs, companies of a specific size must offer a workplace retirement plan of their own or facilitate payroll deduction into a state-sponsored IRA at no cost to the employer. If the latter part of workers' paychecks would be automatically contributed to the state plan, generally 3% to 5% of earnings. The programs also provide opt-out options should workers choose not to participate. According to the Pew Charitable Trust, more than 800,000 workers participate in Auto IRAs, which hold more than $1 billion in total savings. On average, workers save about $165 American dollars a month through these programs. John Scott, director of Pew's Retirement Savings Project, says that the programs have been successful in helping people who would otherwise have limited options to save for retirement. Nevertheless, according to recent reports, the number of retirees in the United States has surpassed forecasts by a significant margin, around 2.7 million more than anticipated. This unexpected surge in retirees may be attributed to the financial market's performance, although the gap in the model had started to close after a significant 19% decline in the S&P 500 in 2022. The index rebounded in 2023, rising by 24%, primarily in the fourth quarter. Additionally, the housing market continued to flourish across most of the metro areas in the United States, further contributing to the increased wealth of older Americans. However, one of the most concerning issues is that millennials' retirement outlook is the worst. A 2022 study conducted by the Urban Institute shows that approximately 38% of early millennials, those born in the 1980s, will have inadequate retirement income by the time they reach age 70. The study, which measures income from various sources, including Social Security, government cash benefits, earnings, pensions, and 401k type plans, also found that around 28% to 30% of early and late baby boomers, 35% of early Generation Xers are projected to have insufficient retirement income. This again indicates a significant gap between the retirement income needed to maintain a comfortable lifestyle and the actual income that many Americans are likely to receive. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to share your thoughts on the topic in the comment section below.